everyone, it's Cindy. Welcome back to Studioloo. I thought today we could do a creative sampler video. I haven't done one in like forever. I also, I don't know. I guess the last journal I finished, I don't even know if I did do a creative sampler because I only do it when I have leftovers from the journal making process, right? So if you're new to the creative sampler, this is me when I was 5 with my little teddy bear being a pyromaniac or something. So the creative sampler is a book that I make to do little kind of snips of, journals that I made so I can remember the project or mostly similar things to that. I've made it inside of this Sally Go Round the Sun book by Edith Falk because this was one of my favorite books when I was a child and I still love it dearly for its illustrations. So yeah, I'll kind of show you, what do I mean by creative sampler. So, this was the Moon's astrology journal that I made back in 2022, and I'm still, now I'm in 2025, still working away on this book, so it has lasted me quite some time. It's like basically like an altered book, I guess, but I don't even remember how I made it. I think I literally, I used the book, but then I made a bigger spine, and then I separated all the chapters into separate signatures, and that's how we got there. So the last couple I've done, this was the palette I did a page for my palette Rosa kit. So sometimes I do a page when I make a digital kit just to kind of remember what I did, but I did make a journal, which I think is actually still available in my shop, the Palette Rosa journal, and it's actually stunning. I love it. And then this was Christmas Woodland. And then the last one I did was from the Tattered Medieval books. So today we're going to get into Palette Clementine because I just finished the Palette Clementine journal. So I think what I'll begin with here is just putting this up here. So we're just going to do some very simple collaging, not even collaging. It's just sort of snippet recording, right? Very kind of glue book-like work. I'd say it's glue book adjacent, but it's it has kind of a theme or a purpose to record your work. You can do glue books for many different reasons. And this one for me, I like it because I don't do glue books just for the sake of gluing things, although I highly say you should do them if you find that relaxing. I imagine it very relaxing. I don't do them though. I don't even really know why. I just don't. And so, but I do like that other people do them. But I mean, it's probably very relaxing to just do a glue book. I used to do something very similar when I was a child with my grandmother's leftover greeting cards. So I'm just going to write up here, Palette Clementine. And it is now, well, I'm going to put July 2025 because I finished the journal in August, but the kit was created in July. And so I can also maybe write here, Clementine House Journal, because there is a journal that I made with the kit, and that was in August of 2025. And then I've got my bin here of the leftover bits from having made my journal, and I can then decide like how and what I want to do, what I want to snip out. So initially what I had started to do, I was using a punch, and then now I'm kind of just doing things a little differently, like to just decide what snippets I want, and then the rest of this just kind of gets cut out and it either goes to scraps, or if it's like finished kind of things, it goes into like my pile of like things to make. But I like doing this as a reminder of all the kind of work that I have done. So see, you're literally just doing like a sampling. It's like a palette sampling of the leftovers. And like this was from my Journal Together kit. So this one, I'll put the whole thing in. Why not? But this is an example of like what could go right back into my my ephemera, right? I could use that in another journal, but I'll use it in here. Same as with this lock, but I will set that over here. This I'm just going to take a little snippet of it because I used these to make pockets in the book. So I'll just glue that one down next to this one. And you could obviously do a background if you wanted to. I'm not going to. These I'm going to keep. I'm not going to include them in there because I've got a few of them. But they're really, really nice, like vintage book. So I want to make tags from them. Add this little bit here. And the fun thing is, you know, the illustrations in this are so neat, you can try to decide, do I want to keep them or not? Like this, I'm not going to add, I don't think, anything in because I want to use that again to make pockets out of. This is from a vintage book, and I think I'll grab my favorite flower. Obviously, you know, if you're attached to these kind of things, put them right back into your pile of things to use. For me, some of this stuff I'm totally fine to just kind of use it up and let it go because that was the whole reason why I picked it for the book. So these I'm going to keep to make tags from. This is just really nice. I think I want to keep it to make a large journal card. This is an old post office bit. So let me just cut a piece of it off, I think, and I'll put the rest in my scraps. And if you guys haven't seen the journal that I'm referring to as I'm doing this, I'll show it to you. It's this one. This, I didn't end up using it, so I think I'm going to keep it and I'll use it. This is a little moth info card. I'm going to keep it because I didn't use it. This, I sort of feel like it came from a, I did use these, it came from a kit, like a paper collection. I'm just going to cut a little piece of it out. I'll use that. Maybe I'll overlap that here. I did use some little photos and things, so I'll use this. Maybe overlap it here. These I'm going to keep to make tags from. This one, I think I'll cut out the little door. So tell me, do you have a way that you commemorate your projects? Do you take pictures of them? Maybe your way of doing that is to, you know, put them on Instagram or something like that. I feel like I like to do some kind of a physical thing if I can. This I think I'll just put in my scraps. I'll use it for something. This I intended to use, but I didn't. It was like an orange rock kind of page, so I think I'll take that and I'll put it in here just as a fun reference for how I planned the project. It's like one thing about this that's kind of fun is like you don't actually maybe always use everything that you're putting in here as a project reminder, but it's like reminiscent of how you planned the project, right? So it's your intentions for what you were doing. That I've already used. This is just a nice little piece of paper, so I'll keep that. This I had intended to use this watching birds page. So I think what I'll do is maybe tear out some fun things to use here. This little robin. This is from a little garden diary. For here we have a daffodil. Okay. This one, just glue it down with glue stick. Right here. That here. Should push up a little so you can see the bottom better. There we go. Maybe put that there on a little angle. This was some stenciling that I did. I think I'll just save that. This was from a fun book. I think I'll save that. That can just go. We've already used it and I feel finished with it. These are full pages, so I'll keep these for another project. These are journal cards. Extra thread. This is also a nice way to kind of clean up at the end of, you know, when you're done working on a project. Now I have this empty tray that I got to clean out and I'll put it in the next project. I'm going to use this little snip here to kind of make a background. And I chose this scrapbook paper that came out of a kit that had like a desert theme that wasn't really my thing. So I think what I'll do, because it's not really my thing, is I'm just going to like punch out a little sample from each of these. That one I'll keep because I like that one. This one's kind of whatever to me. No Wi-Fi here, also whatever to me, kind of weird. Weekend getaway. It's just a nice way to kind of use something that, you know, you don't really care a whole lot about. I'll keep that in my scraps. Good little circle images. Okay, so now we'll have a little fun with some of these circles. Create sort of a palette down the side. It's also a nice way to not be too overly precious with materials. Because once you've done the project, I think, at least for me, it's worth thinking, will I want to do another project with the same materials or not? For me, usually it's a no, unless it's something that's very generic, like, you know, a nature type journal. I will always make those and I will always want to use those materials. See? Okay. Just kind of give everything a smooth. So there is my palette Clementine creative sampler for me to remember the project. Long after the journal is no longer with me, I will still have the reminder of the materials that I used. I'll have the feel of the papers, I'll have the kind of concept of my planning all here, right? So that is it for me for today. with the creative sampler. These materials will all go into my make pile, and thank you for joining me. Let me know if you make a creative sampler. I would love to see it. If you just search my channel for creative sampler, you'll find all the videos, including the video where I made this, and it's kind of like a tutorial video. Okay, bye for now.